very honored to be here, and I am encouraged and inspired when I look out today. I remember being a student in a different time. And I remember being a little bit older than the students in the room are today, a time when I had just graduated college and moved into my first apartment in New York City. And I was working at Ernst & Young, which is the accounting firm in Times Square. And if you happen to be there, you can't miss it. It's the building with the very obnoxious red letters going down the side. You can't miss it if you try. But I was so excited about where I was and what I was doing. And I had so much to look forward to. And I was starting off life on my own. But I didn't know how alone I was about to be. I was at work one night in that building with the obnoxious letters, and I got a phone call. It was from my cousin. He told me that our family jewelry store, which was right up the road in Fairfield, had been robbed, and that my mom was being taken to the hospital. I couldn't really grasp it. I turned to my boss at the time and I said, I think somebody punched my mother. I have to go to the hospital. Because gun violence wasn't on the front of my mind like it is for everyone today. And so I started to get my stuff ready to go, and I got more phone calls. And I realized that the phone calls were pouring in, and they were getting seemingly more frantic, but nobody was really telling me anything. So when one of my uncles called, I said, I need to know what's going on. And he said, okay, the store's been robbed, and I don't think your dad made it. No, this can't be happening. I just talked to them. I was talking to my mother on Instant Messenger, which was our technology of choice at the time. And I can't wrap my head around what is going on. And I then made the car ride from Times Square to Bridgeport Hospital. And as we were pulling in the parking lot, I jumped out of the car and ran to my brother who was standing outside, and I said, what is going on? And he just said, they're dead. Both of them. Mom and Dad are gone. That was the day that gun violence entered my life. That was not the going out on my own that I was envisioning. And so, in the next few years, I adjusted to my new reality, because it's not something you get over or you heal from, you just adjust. And in those years, I saw Virginia Tech happen, and I felt like nothing changed. And I saw Aurora happen, and I felt like nothing changed. And then Sandy Hook. And it got to the point where I no longer watched the evening news because I couldn't comprehend how a reporter or a broadcaster could talk about a shooting, the daily gun violence that we see every day, and then move on to the weather. Because I knew that every story that they were communicating meant that in addition to the life lost, there was someone else in disbelief, someone else's world shattered. And I didn't understand what we could do. And I look out on the students today, the students who have been led to believe that lockdowns in your school are normal. Because I promise you, there's nothing normal about it. And none of the adults in this room had to grow up doing what is being asked of you. So I share with you a piece of advice that my dad used to say to me. Whenever we were in a tough time or even a disagreement between him and I, he would say, let's just take it from here. We can disagree and debate all day about how we got here, or we can just take it from here and move on. So to the students, I say, when you talk to your legislators, because they need to hear from you, understand that you know this gun violence epidemic better than they do. They didn't do the lockdown drills that you do every day. They didn't sit in their classrooms in fear. And they sit with life-saving legislation on their desk, and they owe it to you to pass those bills, to pass those laws. And I encourage you to speak up, unapologetically, using your voice for what they have been elected to do, to protect you. And I encourage you to find common ground too. There are legislators who are certainly on the forefront here in Connecticut fighting for you, and there are some minds that need to be changed. Be willing to have the conversation and be willing to take it from here And I encourage you to look around today and see all of the grown-ups and adults that are here behind you and supporting you. And I encourage you to keep going, because you are the generation that's going to make a difference. And as a mother, I thank you.